Hi. Thanks for your interest in our approach to branding and messaging. My name is Douglas Spencer, and I am the founder, chief message builder, ringleader here at Spencer Brenneman. I'm going to walk you through our approach, our philosophy on branding, and the methodology we've created over the last 10 years to help bring strong brands and compelling messages to life. So, here we go. We believe there are four core elements to a strong brand and a strong brand message, and that starts with authenticity. This is why you do what you do. Why do you care, and why should anybody else? Next, there's the emotion. Who are you in the world? How do you want to show up in the world? How do you connect with people on an emotional level? And then understanding, what needs do you meet, but how do people want to feel afterwards? And finally, differentiation. How specifically do you meet their needs and wants in a way that is relevant and competitively differentiated from all the other options people have? A lot of times we focus just on number 4, which is important, but it's not the complete picture. Well, how do you find those 4 elements to a strong brand? Well, we have a proven yet always evolving methodology called Ask, Build, and Connect. It starts with ask. We ask a lot of questions and in a lot of different forms. We'll talk about that in a second. We build a framework that will guide all of your decisions around your message. And then we will connect that message to your real world needs. Let's talk about the ask element of the methodology. We do one-on-one interviews. Sometimes we'll do worksheets. Sometimes we'll do quantitative surveys. We'll always review existing research because we don't want to reinvent any wheels. And we will do messaging audits. These messaging audits are really popular. We look at your message as compared to 5 competitors. We look at what you're saying, how you're saying it, the tone of voice, your audience, your calls to action, your social media presence. We also look at how you come to life visually. Does the way you look align with the way you sound? Is your look unique? Is it just like everybody else? And a lot more. Next is where the heavy lifting really starts, and that's the build phase, where we work to find your authenticity, your emotion, your understanding, and your differentiation. Let's walk through each one. So with authenticity, we really want to get the sense of your vision. Why does the world need you? This should speak to your organization's soul. Again, why do you care and why should anybody else? This serves as a big picture reminder of your work's importance. It is not necessarily used externally, although it could be. It completes a sentence, we believe our work is important because. And a perfect way to think about this is, let's say you are recruiting a new team member and they ask, well, why should I want to work here? Well, you answer with things like, by starting and ending with people, we can work creatively to confidently solve tax challenges. Or by promoting and fighting for better primary care, we will improve the quality of life for people all around the world. This is from a nonprofit client we worked with. Victims of child abuse can heal with everybody's help. Or we believe that solutions to the most tenacious corporate challenges come from continuous curiosity. Let's look at the emotion. Who are you in the world? What is your brand's personality attributes? If your brand were a person, how would you want people to describe you? This is important because personality adjectives create an emotional connection using things like cloud-based or AI literate. Those things don't really evoke much emotion. But when you say things like optimistic, agile, confident, those really do have a connection with people emotionally, far more so than technical jargon. This gives your brand a personality. It informs all your creative decisions, from your visual identity to your copywriting, and it's not necessarily externally facing, but it can be. Here's an example from a company we worked with a number of years ago, who have since been acquired. It was a tax strategy and technology firm. Their brand personality attributes were pragmatic. We are not chained to process over practicality. Instead, we apply the law logically, not literally. Creative. In our constantly changing world filled with infinite options, finding new and inventive ways to solve problems is our imperative. Perceptive. We see what's there even when others do not, enabling us to work knowledgeably, intelligently, and efficiently. and charismatic. Taxes may seem to revolve around numbers, but it's the people and their careers behind them who matter, which is why relationships mean more to us than profits. Well, we took those adjectives and created both a visual and verbal identity for them, which you can see here. The colors we picked were really reflective of their attributes. For example, the purple really drove home the idea of creativity and charisma, where the green was more pragmatic and the yellow and the blue was more for perception. We also had a tone of voice that we created that is pragmatic, creative, perceptive, and charismatic. For example, we had copy that said, "We understand. There's something about the topic of taxes that can make even the most seasoned professionals feel overwhelmed from time to time." We think that's unfortunate. We're Gagnon Tax, and we love what we do, solving the challenges tax professionals face, past, present, and future, through our highly skilled professional services and expertly crafted technology. Now let's talk about understanding. A lot of organizations focus on what it is their clients need, but very few think about how is it they want to feel. This is important for a number of reasons. As Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you said, they will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Now think about it. When you go to get your taxes done by a CPA, it's not because you just don't want to do it yourself. It's because you want to feel confident that you won't get audited, and if you do, somebody has your back. So this guides how your messages are crafted. It creates connection beyond just a transaction. And the intent is externally facing, but not necessarily the wording. Sometimes it is. Here's an example. A number of years ago, we worked with a company that did workspace optimization. Their clients were typically large corporations that had multiple buildings on a campus. They sold into CFOs, COOs, VPs of facilities, etc. But often directors of facilities were the gatekeepers. Many of them started working there right out of high school, were promoted over the years to a manager level, but they often felt like they lacked the respect of their college-educated supervisors. They were looking for optimized workspace allocation, but what they wanted to feel was respect. So we created a trade show campaign for them that said, you always know where to find the greatest efficiencies for delivering the most productive workplaces. So this theme spoke to how the client's product could make the gatekeepers look like the experts they were within their own organizations. Here's another example. We had a boutique consulting firm that sold to CEOs and executive directors of large nonprofits. Their prospects typically had challenges they had tried to solve themselves, and they felt, defeated. They felt like failures, that they had to look for outside resources. What they needed was management consulting, but what they wanted is validation. So we went in with this simple message. Problems rarely have one cause. Most are the culmination of a series of well-intentioned, rational decisions that over time have come together to create a challenging situation. Those series of events are impossible to spot from the inside. You need fresh eyes who are genuinely curious about where you are today and the path that led you here. This gives them the validation they need to feel good about hiring a consultant. All right, well, let's talk about the differentiation. Again, this is really important. This is what a lot of people focus on. So how specifically do you meet your clients' needs and their wants in a way that is relevant and competitively differentiated from all the other options people have? The how helps you keep your organization focused on what they do best and is needed most. It creates a structure, inspiration, and even core components of your message. And it serves as the foundation of all your messaging and is completely externally facing. Here are some examples of what our clients do. We create medicines to treat cancer's toughest tumors and preserve life through a better standard of care. We prepare and guide people through life's biggest transitions. We deploy no-nonsense, enterprise-wide technology that frees humans from drudgery so they can work on what they do best. Leaders rely on us for strategic guidance, unique perspectives, and unexpected links between industries, ideas, and people. Let's go back to our tax friends and show how it all comes together. So what they do is work closely with professionals nationwide to solve their tax challenges using creative strategies and expertly crafted technology. Well, how do they do that in a way that is different than all the other options people have? Well, they find a creative balance. They apply both art and science to even the most complex situations. They have unlayered access. And they are flexible by infusing as much flexibility as possible into every client's challenge and situation. You put it all together and you get Gagnon Tax works closely with professionals nationwide to solve their tax challenges using creative strategies and expertly crafted technology. We have all the expertise and all the experience of the Big Four, but not the layers of people and rigid processes. Whether it's through our tax consulting, tax compliance, or tax technology practices, we look at your specific challenges to find the perfect balance between risk and reward. So that's the build phase of the methodology. And then we get to the connect, which can take a number of different forms. They typically always have a one-sentence description, an elevator pitch. Sometimes they'll need new website copy or social media copy. Sometimes you need a new logo or a full new visual identity, websites, PowerPoint decks, templates of many types. Whatever it is, we will help you find those. So our Ask, Build, and Connect methodology has been really popular. One of our clients said that the process impacted their work immediately, and it got their vision out of their head and into their strategy and operations. Another client talked about how they were surprised that working with us, they were able to gain valuable insight by examining their history and competition in a structured way. And the effort positioned them for growth by helping them refine what resonates with their existing clients and prospects. And another client said that the work had been energizing. The process drew out the insights and ideas that were already there. We just brought them to life. It's proving to be a big deal for our mission and for our team and our founders. So that's it. We believe that authenticity, emotion, understanding, and differentiation are critical to a strong brand, and we have a methodology called Ask, Build, and Connect to find it. That's it. That is our approach to messaging and branding, our philosophy, and I would love to learn more about your brand and its current state. So why don't you get in touch? Go ahead and use the Contact Us button up there and set up a time to meet. I would love to hear more and, of course, answer any questions that you have. In the meantime, thanks again and have a great day.